Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live, the show where we are here to help you. I am Jeff Marconette Jr. and this is my show. I know I am talking a little slow, but you'll have to bear with me. I was in a car wreck 18 and a half years ago, and I am still getting better. I still go to therapy. I was at therapy today. So I still go to therapy all the time. I still go to the gym all of the time. And I am getting stronger. I'm getting better. Everything I do. So here on this show, we help you. And we ask you if you would please like and share this video. Post it in as many groups as you want. Post it to your favorite group. Post it to groups you don't like. Just post it wherever. It doesn't matter to me. I just want people to watch this video. So I want to say thank you so much for watching this. And please ask as many questions as you like. I know I am normally here on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But we had to do that because of a slight mix-up. So I want to say at this point, thank you for dealing with the wrong night and everything. And I want to welcome Rick Martin to the show. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Jeff. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everything you do, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy evening to be here with me and my guests to help people get through what they're dealing with in life. And tonight, we're actually going to be doing what?
Tonight we are going to be we're going to look at 5 steps to help you find your purpose tonight.
That is awesome. So if you're looking to find your purpose, guys, you're in the right place. So Rick, I have to ask, where are you from?
I'm originally born and raised from Washington, D.C., Northwest Washington, D.C., and I've lived there for about 13 years, and then I moved not too far to Maryland on the Prince George's County side of Maryland.
That's awesome. Now, what is it that you do? I see that it says Coach Rick, the CEO. So what do you coach and what are you the CEO of?
Well, who I coach are actually people. I started off coaching kids, sports, basketball, and football, and now a lot of things have switched. So now I actually coach people. The CEO portion of what of my name is basically it stands for Chief Encouraging Officer because encouragement is what I do.
That is amazing. Now, why is it you do what you do?
Well, what I found out in my life is that there are some people who just need a little bit of extra help. Some people need a little bit of extra encouragement, a little bit of extra motivation, really just to help them throughout life, in general. And once I found that this was what my gift was and what my purpose was, there was no stopping. There was no turning back.
That is awesome. So I on this show we normally talk about things that people are going through, things that they've gone through and overcame, and then we offer suggestions for those people that have gone through something or are going through something. So has there been anything in your life that you have gone through?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that for me, I've been through probably a various amount of things as 41 years old. In life, a lot of people will go through.
You're 41?
Yep, 41.
You don't look a day over 40.
Thank you. Guess what? Being 41 doesn't really feel too much different than 40. I just actually just turned 41 a few days ago. But
Well, happy birthday.
thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But one of the things that I can think back to recently was I was working IT for like 11 years, and a boss of mine, we decided to mutually part ways. Something felt heavy on me, but when we decided to part ways, something lifted off of me, and I was just saying like, okay, Lord, is this, it's kind of like, this it, but I didn't know what it was. So what happened was, as far as financial, bills were concerned, relationships, there were a lot of things that started to go downhill. And I felt like I was at a place that I was truly lost, where I didn't know where I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing. I was filling out, jobs here and jobs there, and just all kind of things that were happening. But what I found out was, sometimes to get our attention, we need to have everything taken away. We need to have everything.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to have everything taken away. So these are when these questions started to arise. As far as when I talk about the 5 questions that help find your purpose. These are the questions that started to arise. I had to sit back. I had to ask myself, who am I? Really, who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? Most of the time, by default, people talk about what they do, but what they do often isn't who they are. So we
Wow.
define ourselves by our occupations. We define ourselves sometimes by our hobbies. We define ourselves by, groups or church or religious organizations, and we don't truly know who we are. So who am I was a big question. And what that showed me is that people struggle with identity. Okay. People struggle with identity. That first question of purpose, of who am I, it deals with identity. When you think about it, as people, the fashion industry is really built off of the lack of self-identity. We're putting
Yeah.
on Tommy Hilfiger, we're putting on all of these different people to validate who we are, right? To validate who we are. So who are you is the number one question. And it's a tough question because it has to do with internal reflection. You have to find out who you are, right? So that was one of the things when I got stuck, I had to ask myself, who am I? Who am I? Like, for real, like, who am I? And should I keep taking jobs, or should I really do whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing as far as purpose driven in my life? So that was the number one, that was the number one question. And along that path, like I said, it doesn't feel good but it really causes you to focus on yourself. It causes you to focus on yourself. When we go out through life, we're always worried about all of these different things that are happening left and right and all over. We worry about other people. We may worry about siblings or this. But when have you really sat down and just focused on you? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Right.
So, but let me ask you,
Mm-hmm.
how can people, when you're saying who am I to yourself, and you're saying don't describe things like your hobbies, the things that you're into. Don't describe yourself as hair color. Don't describe yourself as eye color.
Right.
How exactly should you describe yourself, and what can you ask yourself to figure out those things?
So here's the deal. I want to be careful because how you describe yourself, is one thing. Listen, if you like blue hair, you like blue hair. If you like, if you like, nice red, sports coats, then you like nice red sports coat. That doesn't change.
Yeah.
That's right. It doesn't change, the things that you actually like. But oftentimes there's little clues that are left around us to show us who we are, exactly. Like, I'm gonna be real. So part of the book that I have that I'm actually releasing at the end of this year, I actually talk about these 5 steps. So one of the things that I do, that I request that people should do with this particular question, is ask the 3 people that you're closest to, your 3 friends or your 3 relatives, what is it about me that makes me me, or what do I do best? And they will tell you more about yourself than you will be able to, because again, we don't internalize everything. We always focusing on what's happening outside of us. For example, I'll give you a short example. How I know that I was created to encourage and inspire and to coach people is, there were one of my friends that I used to talk to. Actually, he's a former boss of mine, and we had talked on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes. Again, I'm still in the fog. I don't know where my life is. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what my purpose is totally. And he got off the phone and he said, Rick, you know what? I feel like I need to pay you for this conversation we just had. This was amazing. Like, you've shown me so much insight. He was like, man, I just feel so inspired whenever I talk. I feel like I should pay you, and it was just like, ding dong, like, and the crazy thing about it is, once I embraced that, then there were more people who whenever I called them, they were like, man, whenever I talk to you, man, you get me fired up, you get me motivated, you get all of these things going, you get my brain going, you get me thinking about things I've never thought about before. So I was just like, wow, this is my thing. And the encouragement, the inspiration, the coaching people, this is my thing. Again, sometimes we don't know directly, but there's people around us that do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I have noticed that a lot of my guests that come on this show talk about that circle, the people, your support system, and I want to make things simple in life for people, not only me, but I like simple things. But I'm trying to make things simple for other people. So I need to ask you, what is the best way to find those people to have in your circle?
The best way to find those people to have in your circle? Well, here's the deal. I believe who you are is who you attract. It's hard. Again, if there's a hobby that you love, let's say you like to bowl, okay? You love to bowl. It's going to be hard for me to believe that you're going to go to the bowling alley, once a week without meeting someone. If you like to play basketball, or if you're a weekend warrior, you just like to put clothes on and go shoot hoops at the local gym every week, it's hard for me to believe that it's somebody that you're not going to come in contact with, that you're going to be like, hey man, listen, look, give me your number, let's exchange this, or let's do this or do that. So what I believe is that who you are is who you attract, and your life is comprised of like you said, many hobbies and many many interests that you have that you like to do. Again, if you're a person that goes to church, there's plenty of people at church. If you're a person who loves sports, there's plenty of people in the sports in you. I have a friend of mine who he's a Las Vegas Raiders fan, and before COVID, they used to all gather together and meet at some bar in DC with him and a bunch of other random friends. And he became friends with like 3 or 4 other people, even outside of all of the football stuff. So at the end of the day, your interests in who you are, you will start to attract the people, in your actual life. So.
Awesome. That is great advice. Thank you so much for doing that. And I want to take a second here and say hi to a few people. So that I have my phone running down here so I can see. That's why I keep looking down, because I'm looking at my phone. But I'd like to say hi to Marilyn Cricket Whipple, I want to say hi to my dad who's watching,
Okay.
and hi to Nicole, hi to Arthur Stone, and Nicole says hi guys, and
Hey, Nicole.
then Marilyn said some people see us better than we see ourselves. So that's pretty good.
She's
That's pretty
absolutely right.
interesting. And I happen to like that one. So I also would like to take another second here and tell you guys that I talk a lot on this show about making every second count. And making every second count is me. That's my brand. That's my message. That's just me embodied in a message. So but I have actually done something to help you figure out how to make every second count, because I've had a lot of people ask me, well, how can I make every second count? There are 86,400 seconds in a day. How can I make each and every one of them count? And that's a good question. But I am here to help you do that. And I have actually written a book to help you do that. It's called Make Every Second Count, a 1,500-hour journal. And it is available on Amazon.com, but it is also available. The first chapter is available for free on my website. Now, my website is www.jeffmarconetjr.com. And then if you go to the journal tab, you can find it right there and download the first 7 days for free. And if you love it, you should check out the entire book. But I just want to say that I'm so appreciative of the opportunity to have Rick on this show. So I would like to ask him if he's ready to get back to it with point number 2.
Absolutely. All right. So your my second question that we have is why am I here? Okay. Why am I here? Why am I here deals with it deals with your purpose. All right. Once you discover who you are, the next thing you want to know is why you're here. All right. Why you're here. Why am I here? Not to be graphic at all, but people have to realize that when a man releases seed, they say it's something like 4.9 million, and they all have one job: make it to the egg. Okay, so the fact that you are here on this earth means that you made it. Means that your purpose, you beat out 4 point how many other million other to get here. You made it. So there's something special about your life. You're not here to be, you're not here to be like everybody else, right? God created you. He made you unique. Everything about you is unique. There's no two people with the same fingerprints. All right. We are all collector's edition. You have to find out what makes you go. You have to find out what, why am I here? What's my purpose? Right. It's the second thing. What's my purpose? All right. It's big time, because you cannot kill a man who has purpose. Death will never threaten a person with purpose. Once you understand what your purpose is, you become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. Once you find out what your purpose is, there's not a fear in this world. There's not a threat or death in this world, because whatever your purpose is, you're willing to die for it. Yep.
That's pretty amazing. So I want to point out here that Nicole said so true. So she's pretty awesome. She's paying attention, I can tell. She's usually paying attention. So I just, wow, man, that just rocked my world, because the fact that we every day we wake up I consider winning. I
So,
consider that a day that I won the lottery
right.
because I woke up. So we have Nicole asking, how do you find your purpose? And that's funny, Nicole, because this show is actually 5 simple steps
Absolutely.
to find your purpose.
Absolutely.
Now, number one was, who am I? Number two is, why am I here? And we're about to get back to number three. So pay attention, and I hope you can take something very valuable away from this, Nicole. All right. So if you would like to get back, Rick.
All right. So number 3 is what can I do? Yep. What can I do? What can I do talks about your ability. It talks about your potential. It talks about what your superpower is. What I like to call your superpower. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got at least one superpower. You got a superpower. All right. So it talks about your ability. It talks about your potential, and it talks about your superpower. All right. What can I do? There's a lot of things that we do very, very well. Listen, sometimes we like to make this very complicated, and it's not complicated. So Marie Callender, right? You've heard of her. You know her. She's the Marie Callender, right? You know what her superpower was? It was baking pies.
Baking pies.
Baking pies. Right, right. She became large and rich in the whole nine and very by baking pies. Listen, don't complicate things. There's some gifts that we have and we look down on them because they don't feel like they're elaborate enough or they don't feel like they're prestigious enough. Listen, every single one of us has a superpower. All right. The Colonel, KFC, and Chick-fil-A, theirs is frying chicken. Listen, these guys are moving heaven and earth by frying chicken, man. Like, do not deny your superpower. You know, you cannot deny your superpower. Everybody has one, at least one. Everybody has at least one. So what can I do? What is your ability? What is your potential? What can you do to, that where everybody, again, sometimes we don't even know. I had a family member of mine who didn't even know that she was going to go into the catering business, but because she cooked a meal and somebody was like, "Oh my Lord, this is awesome. I've never tasted anything as good as this. You need to sell this." And she's like, "Oh, stop it." What happened? She started baking. She started making cakes. She started making, and I'm just telling you, life has a funny way of showing you what your purpose is. What happens is we look so far elsewhere because sometimes we think it's wrapped up in a job. We think it's wrapped up in a job. We think it's wrapped up in, sometimes we think it's wrapped up in going to school. Listen, I'm in favor of education when it pushes what your potential and your passion is. All right. There's a lot of kids out here roaming right now that doesn't have a purpose. And when you don't have a purpose, you'll do anything. And that's a major issue. That's a major issue. So the thing you need to do is find out what my ability is, what's my potential, what's my superpower. And again, quiz and question the people that are around you because sometimes they can see things in you that you can't see in yourself. Right?
That's great advice, and it's just what Marilyn. Oh, excuse me. It's what Marilyn said earlier, that sometimes people see something in us that we can't see in ourselves.
Right.
And that's exactly what you were just saying. But I thought it was great to reiterate that. Now Nicole says she thinks her purpose is to take care of others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's true. She's a medical worker. She works at, I forget. I'm bad. I shouldn't forget that stuff, but she's a medical worker. And Marilyn said hers is listening. And listening can be very important to people
Absolutely.
because sometimes people just need a listening ear.
Absolutely.
So I find that awesome, and I thank you guys for your input. If you have any questions about the first 3 steps, go ahead and ask them. If not, we will go ahead and move on to the 4th step. But Nicole says that she works in a senior living facility. I'm sorry, I forgot that, Nicole. All right, so I don't see any questions popping up, so I guess I'll let you go on to number 4.
All right, number 4 is, once you find out what you can do, your ability and your potential, what your superpower is, number 4 is, where am I going? Yep, where am I going? Where am I going speaks to your destiny, okay? Speaks to your vision for your life. Once you find out what you can do, now you have to find out where you're going. Where is it going to take you? And again, when you look at it, do you ever think that someone frying a piece of chicken will be on a national stage somewhere? I'm sorry, I know that sounds crazy, but that's literally what it is. Somebody mastered frying chicken. All right.
Yeah. That doesn't sound crazy at all. In fact, I heard Steve Harvey talking about that in one of his talks, that these people just master what they love, because if they master what they love and then they go to work and do that every day, that is going to improve so much, and it's going to make their life so much better. In fact, the last haircut that Steve Harvey got before he started in show business, he got that guy involved once he got into show business. And he paid like $16 for his haircut before he got involved in show business.
Mm-hmm.
And he then was at the studio, this guy cutting hair, just cutting hair. That's all he was doing, cutting hair. He brought this guy along, and this guy started cutting everybody's haircut on the entire lot. Mm-hmm. And now, instead of making like 16 or whatever dollars every time he cut somebody's hair, he was making $6,000 a haircut just by doing what he loved. Doing what he was doing for $16, he was now doing it for $6,000. And that's like, what?
Absolutely. So
yeah.
Look, I want to share. I'm gonna share. This is a little nugget. This is in my book, but I'm gonna share you. This is a little nugget. Anything that you decide to do that's worthy of being great, you will never do it on your own. It's going to always require the help of other people. There's a very interesting passage when Jesus first met Peter, and Peter was struggling with fishing, and Jesus told him, "Cast your net on the other side." And the Bible said that he brought so much in of a big catch that he had to call others over to help him. What that showed me is that there's nothing great in your life that you'll ever do by yourself. You will always need the help of others. If whatever vision that you feel like is being placed in your life, it has to help others. It has to help others. That's the secret ingredient. That's the secret key. You cannot do this by yourself. You may start off with a great idea, but you're going to need a team of people to help this vision get pushed and help everything to come to pass.
That's wow, man. Your book is going to be off the chain. So I want to say that Nicole said that she's going to bed. Just kidding. She says she's good at sleeping too. And then Marilyn said she's almost 70, so she's not going far, but she still can learn about her purpose. And That's true. I see her point, but it's never too late to
Nope.
start something new.
Nope.
It's never too late to learn a new skill.
Absolutely.
Never too late to start anything that you want to do. Anything that you believe in, you can do. You just have to start.
That's
And
right.
how do you get started? One step at a time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also wanted to say that Nicole said, if you love what you do, it's not work. And then Marilyn said, we need others and they need us.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. I
Absolutely.
love having people that offer their input on my shows. So
Absolutely.
I will let you get back to number 5, but first I want to say number 4 was, where am I going?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. And number five is kind of like a recap of everything. And basically, number 5 is, how is it going? How is it going? How is it going refers to the consistency. Are you on track? Are you doing the things that you know to do, to push this vision and this destiny forward? Number 5 is kind of like it's like an accountability. It's an accountability question based off of, of your purpose. Are you moving in a direction that you're supposed to, or did you get a flat tire and you had to pull over and you've just been there stopped? All right. So number 5 is how's it going? Are you on track? It's an accountability question, right? We've been through the first 4 steps. Now you should at least be pushing the cart a little bit down the way. Number 5 basically says, hey, listen, are you staying consistent? Okay. Are you staying consistent? Are you being, it's an accountability question. Yep. Because at the end of the day, you have to track whatever it is. You have to make sure that you're on track. And guess what? Let's say if your goal was 250,000 sales, but you're only at 150,000 sales, then guess what? At the end of the day, at least you're still moving. You set a goal. How's it going? How's it going? It's accountability. Yeah, it's accountability.
What would you say, like, to that person that wanted $250,000 in sales and they only have $150,000 in sales? How would you get them to continue?
Well, what I would say is, for me, it's a perspective, right? 150 sales, guess what? It could have been 10 sales. It could have been 10 sales. It could have been 0 sales, and you could be working at Walmart. So the fact that whatever it is that you're doing is moving, you cannot give up. You got to keep the faith, because there's an acceleration clause that happens. There's an acceleration that happens, and it's not determined on years. It's not determined on no. What it is determined on consistency. Right? It's determined on consistency. And the more consistent you are, you may reach 100, you may reach 250,000 sales on the last day before your actual goal. If your goal was, hey, January 31st, I want to hit 250, and you're at 150 and you're a little down on yourself, December is right around the corner. I don't know. Guess what? Don't get discouraged. Keep moving. Keep being consistent, because on January 29th, you may hit that acceleration, boom, that takes you there, right? Whatever your God-given purpose is, guess what? He is not going to leave you dry. He's not going to leave you high and dry. All right. And again, the other thing that I will always say is this. In the multitude of counsel, there's wisdom. So increase your mentor. One of the things that I feel like God showed me is, Rick, you need a mentor in every area and category of your life. So I'm trying to get myself in shape. So guess what? I built a circle of people where they are nutty about working out and lifting weights. Okay. Who can hold you accountable more than people like that? All right. So same thing, if the marriage is this or whatever the case is, have a mentor to say, hey man, remember you got to do this for her. You got to take her out. All right. Make a schedule, make a calendar, this, that, and the third. In the places that I am weak, I have to have accountability. So if those goals that you're looking to meet, you have to have accountability. You have to have that mentorship, and you got to be consistent. Can't give up. No matter what it looks like at the time, you cannot give up. Don't ever give up. Yep.
That's so awesome, and I appreciate your message, and I just want to reiterate his 5 points. So number 1 is, who am I? Number 2 is, why am I here? Number 3 is, what can I do? Number 4 is, where am I going? So you gotta figure out where you want to get to, or how are you ever going to know when you get there? And then number 5 again was, how is it going? How are you doing on the first 4 steps?
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate this, and I want to ask now if there's any contact information that you would like to give out. And one other question that I'm sure people are going to have is, how can they get a hold of your book?
My book will be released prayerfully by January. It's still in process. One of my biggest issues is that I'm an overthinker. So I overthink, a lot. But it should be January. It shouldn't be no more past no farther past January. The way that you can reach me currently, Facebook, Coach Rick, the CEO, and YouTube, Coach Rick, the CEO. Also Facebook, I'm a lot active, and then I load videos, onto YouTube. But again, at the end of the day, I am certified life purpose coach, and I'm here to just help people figure it out. I'm here to help people get it right.
That is great. And I mean, I know personally that there are people out there right now that don't know what their purpose is. Mm-hmm. And it's like this, guys. We get one chance at this life, one go around on this planet.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what you were here for, don't you think it's time that you figure out what it is that you were here for, what it is that you were made for? Because I tell you this, people are made for way more than they believe. Absolutely. We are more powerful than we know. And I know that each and every one of you out there can live your best life, live your dreams, and you don't have to wait for the next life. Absolutely. You can do it right here, right now, in this moment. Yeah. Because remember, we only get one life. So I would like to say that Nicole says thank you for all the information. She says she's an overthinker as well. And then Marilyn says thank you, or thanks so very much. This is awesome. So we thank you guys. We ask you if you would please share this video out, like this video, give us all kinds of comments. Heck, if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay down there so we know you're watching the replay. And we will be here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where I, Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker, am here to help you. And I am reminding you, that you need to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds will run out on your one life. Just one, guys. So again, thank you, Rick, and thank you to everybody out there. And